Think again, Pot 50, entering a parallel universe. Outside the lab, dismantling stereotypes and decreasing prejudice rarely happen overnight. Even if people aren't on guard from the start, they're quick to put their defenses up when their attitudes are challenged. Getting through to them requires more than just telling them that their views are arbitrary. A key step is getting them to do some counterfactual thinking, helping them consider what they'd believe if they were living in an alternative reality. In psychology, counterfactual thinking involves imagining how the circumstances of our lives could have unfolded differently. When we realize how easily we could have held different stereotypes, we might be more willing to update our views. To activate counterfactual thinking, you might ask people questions like: how would your stereotypes be different if you'd been born black, Hispanic, Asian, or Native American? What opinions would you hold if you'd been raised on a farm versus in a city, or in a culture on the other side of the world? What beliefs would you cling to if you'd lived in 1700s? Let's talk about a situation how a black musician confronts white supremacist. One day, Daryl was driving his car with chief officer of a KK chapter whose official title was Exalted Cyclops. Before long, Cyclops was sharing his stereotypes of black people. They were an inferior species, he said. They had smaller brains, which made them unintelligent, and genetically they were downgraded, and they were more intended towards violence. When Daryl pointed out that he was black but had never shot anyone or stolen a car, the Cyclops told him his criminal gene must be latent. It hadn't come out yet. Daryl decided to beat the Cyclops at his own game. He challenged Cyclops to compete with him on music. Of course, music is art, so this is not violence. Let's compete it at music. But this is where he just withdrew and he said, "But I can't do because this is not my uh, profession and I can't do it. You have developed your artistic skills." So then Daryl asked him to name three black serial killers. When Cyclops could name any, Daryl rattled off a long list of well known white serial killers and told the Cyclops that he must be one of those ones. When the Cyclops protested that he had never killed anybody, Daryl turned his own argument against him and said that his serial killer gene must be latent. "Well, that's stupid," the flustered Cyclops replied. "Well, dude," Daryl agreed, "you are right. What I said about you was stupid, but no more stupid than what you have said about me." The Cyclops got very quiet and changed the subject. Several months later, he told Daryl that he was still thinking about the conversation they had. Daryl had planted a seed of doubt and made him curious about his own beliefs. The Cyclops ended up quitting the KKK and giving his hood and his robe to Daryl. Daryl is obviously extraordinary, and not only in his ability to wage one man war on prejudice, but also has an inclination to do so. As a general rule, it's those with greater power who need to do more of the rethinking because they are more likely to privilege their own perspective and because their perspectives are more likely to be unquestioned. In most cases, the oppressed, marginalized have already done a great deal of uh, confrontation and they are able to convince the other people as well.